lugubrious antithesis, copious, capitulate, dubious, sanguine, accolade, archaic, mendicant, matriculate, enigma, nefarious, pernicious, affable, integral, infinitesimal, contiguous. Which may sound crazy, but we have a vocabulary song that's 11th and 12th grade words, and they feel that song so much that it's their song, and they know the meaning of every single word because it's relevant. It's not a list of 10 words, and then they take the test, they pass it, the next week they would fail it because they have 10 more new words to study. Now, every single day we have a new word, and that word becomes a meaning, it has emotion, and it's part of our dance.
He's involved, and to me that's the most supportive thing that a principal could do. His support is felt with him just peeking his head in and just giving you a thumbs up or a smile, and it can be as simple as that, or it can be him coming in and sitting or talking to your kids and asking them what are they learning, and wanting to be involved in each grade level.
I love that you want me to eat healthy. I love that. That means you care about me, right?
Yeah, I really do.
When I'm in there and I have this plan, if I have this map, I want to go from point A to point B, but I can actually take different kids on different trails. We're still going to get to the top of the mountain, but some of us are taking the river route and some of us are going to take the skyline route, And then I say, you know what I can do tomorrow? I'll have them come in and work on this. I'll pull this group to the back and work with them. And actually that one right there, that's metaphase. So you would have prophase, the chromosomes form, meta, they line up.
Scale. We want our students every day to recognize that learning is what's critical here. GPA, SATs, grades in general are all important, but really the value is about how am I different at the end of my school day.
If I had to identify the things that our kids do when they leave here, they know how to self-advocate. They know how to think outside the box. They know how to work with other people. They know how to be respectful and tolerant of other people even when they're not the same. They know how to work hard and fail and try again.
One of the most important things for me is to teach students that they can be successful, to be resilient, and that they can develop those self-efficacy skills. And self-efficacy is not about teaching students to be successful. It's about teaching students how to respond when they're not successful.
And I think when you start looking at the school from a business side of things, not necessarily financially, but managing people, managing resources, and trying to get this aim of student learning, and that's our end goal, and viewing the student walking across the stage in 4 years as a product, equipped to perform in a society that needs them. I think you can really take steps to making that happen.
One of the things as a school administrator we try to do is really be in the classroom. We're in and out of classrooms all day long, all the time. Kids get used to seeing us. It's very important for them to feel like we're involved in what they're doing. Teachers are used to us, so it's not like when I'm dropping into a classroom, I'm evaluating or checking to see what they're doing all the time.
I want them coming into my classroom. I want them staying. I want it to be non-threatening. I don't want a pencil in their hand unless I think maybe they're writing down something interesting to tell me later, but I don't want a checklist. I don't want them looking around the room and to see if this is posted or that's posted, because I can promise you that it is posted, because I know what I'm doing and I'm a professional. But I would really appreciate afterwards my principal or someone coming to me, which often happens in this school, I don't have a problem with it, saying, I loved this, that was really great. Or, how about if you try this? I don't find that threatening. And I don't know all the answers. This is my 30th year teaching, and I'm still learning things.
If I was in a school that was run by a group of administrators that didn't see the classroom, and they saw the numbers in the paperwork, I don't think that I would be respected. But I am. I feel respected. All of us do. And Joe is good about that. And it makes a difference when it's not just you. Like, we all help each other out. Like, at our department meetings, we're constantly saying, well, how'd you teach this in 9th grade? Oh, well, I can piggyback on that. And, so it started there. Don't just hire individual good teachers. Go into it knowing that you're hiring a team.
The beginning, we were all independent. We were all on our own island. It felt like once your door closed in your classroom, you were alone. The teamwork aspect that exists now at our school wasn't evident at all. It was difficult. It was really a struggle at the beginning. Now our school, I see, you are never alone.
Supporting teachers through a transformation or just a change, a shift, can be challenging, can be daunting. Because often we will avoid the learning zone because it's close to the frustration zone. So that's loads of professional development, getting out and visiting other schools or visit another colleague's classroom. So often right within the building, we can ignore the talent that's right there. The people we need to really transform and change education in our nation, in this world, are working right in schools and right in the industry right now. We just need to make sure we put them in the right roles and that we give them the right resources to be able to make those things happen.
So one of the things that's really cool now is that all of our core content area teachers have time to work together during the school day. So all of our English teachers, 6 through 12, meet twice a week to talk about what are the needs of the kids, and they pull in their data and look at what is it that we need to work on, so that the 6th grade teacher can talk to the 12th grade teacher, can talk to the 8th grade teacher, and all the way up through 7 years of education, they can work on what it is our kids really need. And that same thing happens in science, social studies, foreign language, across the board.
I'm smart enough to know that I will not be able to transform a school, a community, a city, a nation without an army of dedicated and committed parents. I know that I will need those parents, but I can't wait until everyone is on board.
It's one of the things that we take very seriously, because a parent who's involved helps create a well-rounded kid. A kid who's successful. And it doesn't have to be the person who builds the set or the person who's the PTA president. Those are all good, and we have parents who are involved that way. But not every parent can be that person, and we're totally fine with that too. So it could be the 10 minutes having a conversation with your child at dinner time. What did you do in school today? What's working well for you? Who are you connecting with? What do you need help with? That kind of thing.
Years ago, if the teacher was prepared, they were aligned to their curriculum, and they were performing, I often would leave that room thinking, wow, that was a great lesson. And in many ways it was. So it could hit that classroom management was excellent, that planning and preparation was excellent, but how do I know the level of instruction taking place in regards to student learning? And I think over the last few years, really as a school community, with our teacher leaders and our teachers, having conversations on, what does student learning actually look like? What does engagement actually look like?
Kids learning it means that kids are doing, kids are active, kids are participating, kids are asking questions, kids are answering questions, kids are teaching. And that's the kind of thing we see all the time. That level of student engagement is so important.
When I first started teaching, I could tell my kids, open up the textbook, page 10, and start reading. I had no problems. Now, if I say to my kids, open your textbook to page 10 and start reading, I've lost them probably by the time page 15 comes along, because the textbook, it doesn't dazzle my kids, it doesn't come with 100 apps, it's not voice activated. My kids leave here, every single thing they do is plugged in. They tweet things, they're on their Facebook, and then you come in here and you say, open up your book. And if I can teach it through the smart board and through one of the games, if I can sing it, if I can dance it, if I can do anything movement, if I can get them to touch it in any way, if I can give any type of an example, it has to be relevant to their lives, and it also has to be kinesthetic.
Like for me, I'm not going to sing a song. Like we were saying, there's these songs, but I joke, and I have humor, and I have a student teacher right now. She's very organized, super smart, but she doesn't have 8 accents and voices. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it today. And she just and that's just my thing, right? So she looks at me like I'm crazy. So how do I teach her to manage these kids? Because she can't just copy me. So she has to look at herself and figure out a way. And it can be a video. It can be a good question.
In my classroom with the first graders, we really implement a lot of hands-on constructive learning. I get them out of their seats, we move around the classroom, we sing songs, we incorporate technology, but I also get really tuned into their interests.
I had 21 on my That's
21, 9, I don't understand. I thought we'd all get the same answers. Start thinking, why? We incorporate higher order thinking in our questioning and also our activities so that they extend their understanding and extend their way of problem solving and their thinking.
But you can have the best lesson, you can engage the kids, you can bring them in, you can get them to be really active. And I guess there's a flip-flop. Are they paying attention? Yes, but are they actually thinking? Are they thinking in depth? Are we asking them to just do work? Or are we stumping them on purpose and giving them problems to solve, and are we making them frustrated and enjoying it? You know, I don't understand this, you know, like Mr. Gross, this doesn't make sense. Well, the answer's not here. You know, and then you're going, you know.
I have my kids requesting curriculum. And I can't always do it because it doesn't fit in exactly what we're doing, but I think it's pretty amazing that my children are requesting what we do. And the reason it's effective is because my children come in, I teach it, I reteach it, they teach each other, and then we do it as a group.
I also think that if you take the basics, like lesson planning, organization, understanding of structures, and then on top of that, how do you teach teachers to interact with kids? And like you take this idea of videoing, how do you teach a teacher how to manage who they call on? How do you take a teacher who's an introvert and teach them to be assertive enough, because that's what this person might need, to call on different kids? And how do you teach a teacher to discipline a kid without disrupting class? How do you teach them to redirect versus rule number 1 is don't do this? And like, how do you manage kids and not need the discipline office? Because a good teacher will. How do you update your lessons so that they're current and they fit those kids? I mean, there's so much to it. I'm going to call this the old school mentality of teaching, that bell curve mentality. I'm going to teach a lesson. Some of the kids are going to get it and some aren't, and that's okay. Well, that's gone. It's just not okay. I want to say that every kid can learn. And the fact is, one size doesn't fit all. I have to get to know my kids. The theory comes in, whether it's multiple intelligences or if it's understanding the socioeconomic backgrounds of the different kids. I mean, some kids go home every day to a kitchen table that's cleared with a glass of water and an expectation that they're going to do homework for an hour and a half. And some kids don't go home to that. We have to know that.
We don't allow kids to fail. You know, we take a look at what's not working, if something's not working, and we bring that child to the table. You know, we're not afraid to have a parent conference, and one of the things that we say first off is if there's a possibility for the child to be at the table at 11 or 12 or 15, they need to be there because they need to hear that we around the table are all about helping them. They have to pull their weight, they have to do their part, they need to be able to talk to us about what's working or what's not working, how we can better help them, and we need to be able to say to them, but here's what I need you to do so that we can come together and work cohesively so that you can be successful.
If you don't end the class knowing what your kids learned that day, then you are going to live in a fantasy world. Because you're going to live with, here's the objectives that I wanted to teach, here's the lesson I planned to teach it, and it's going to stop there. You're not going to know until you give that summative assessment at the end and you're going to, oh man, these kids failed. Well, I guess they'll have to stay after. Well, if you were adjusting every day, if you were grabbing those kids and pulling them out, and you know, if you were changing that lesson, if you're going back when you need to, that's the difference between great teaching and the best.
Students want teachers who are going to be willing to move them beyond where they've ever thought about going before. I mean, excellent teachers move ordinary children to do extraordinary things.